Hello everybody, it's the 1st of August. No, it's not, it's the 1st of September, my goodness. Let's pop the ubiquitous can in for scale. This is well, a thing that I've become interested in this last year or so, which is turning vines into bonsai as opposed to trees. And this is a Russian vine. Probably not very popular, being called the Russian vine in these days with what's going on in the world, but as a child I was always told it was called a Russian vine because it would rush up the side of a building as soon as you planted it, and I don't know if that's true, but it certainly grows fast, and in order to try and contain it and keep it in one place, I've employed a simple little technique whereby, and we'll come back to those pretty flowers in a minute, whereby you simply encourage the vine to wrap around itself in a loop, and once you've got it going in a loop, it will continue on in a loop, thereby it's not taking up a huge amount of space on the bench, it's not needing giant canes to keep it growing, but it's that growth that will in fact power the vine to grow a nice fat trunk. And then as an extra added delicious little bonus, it has these beautiful little flowers that hang on these, almost like an upside down candelabra effect. Very pretty, not much in the way of scent, but I like it, and obviously we will cut this back in the spring because we want to make it a fairly small thing, not a huge thing that will cover the side of the house, but it is, yeah, it's a pretty little thing to have. This is another vine that's, well, it's got its own playlist and will have its own video later in the year. This is a grape, and it's an edible grape, but I'm not too fussed about the eating. What I'm hoping is to build me a trunk as the tree climbs up this cane, and once I've got a nice trunk, we can make it an interesting little tree, I believe. I love the leaf shape, quite dissimilar to most other trees that I've got, so something interesting and different. This is another vine. In this case it's a Chinese wisteria, and this thing has sulked for the longest time this summer again. In fact, several of my, well, no, most of my Chinese wisteria have sulked this year. This one took the longest time to get growing. In fact, has again only started really growing this month, and has grown literally about 3 inches at the top, at the tip here, albeit it's grown 3 or 4 shoots of 3 or 4 inches long. It's certainly not romping away the way I would normally expect a wisteria to do, but again, I think it was filling the pot with roots, and having filled the pot with roots, I'm hoping that it will romp away next year. As such, time will tell, I guess. Of course, the wisteria is a climbing vine, just like the Russian vine, and so I thought I'd include it in this video. But there are a playlist on my Chinese wisteria, which you can check out on my channel if you wish, and see them growing on, some from seed and some from plants I bought online. So here we have the Chinese wisteria that were grown from seed, some sown in August of autumn rather of last year, and some grown in the spring of this year. We have 5 in total. Obviously the taller ones were the ones that grew last year, the shorter ones are the ones that grew this year, and again they haven't really taken off and put on much growth, but I'm hoping that next year will be their year. I had thought about fusing these, but you get such mixed results from seed that you never know how they will grow and how they will look together. So I might grow them on for a few years before making a decision, and maybe style 2 or 3 individual trees instead. Okay, so here's a shot of my large white wisteria bonsai, which is a large tree. It's about 4 foot from the top of the pot to the top of the tree, and that has been growing very well this year. I'll move you in, hopefully not too wobbly and won't make you feel too seasick, but I've been getting a lot of good growth, and I've just been pinching back and wiring. As you can see, I've had one lot of growth here and I've pinched back, and I've now got a second lot of shooting which has been pinched back, and another piece here which I'm now going to pinch that growing tip out to there, and I've just been doing that as the tree grows, and I've got some quite nice ramification, and hopefully the tree will flower again as it did this year in the spring. So here's another Chinese wisteria, and I apologise for the background being a bit crowded, but it's difficult to move this tree because next to it I have another pot with a whole load of shoots that are embedded in it, which I am trying to layer and grow roots, and that is now growing all the way over to their upper cane, off the end of the cane, using that method of wrapping them around themselves and getting a circle. So I'm hoping I get some good growth, and then those I can fuse and they'll all have the same characteristics. Okay, so back with the parent plant, we have quite an interesting trunk, but it has grown up the cane, and again it has grown up the cane and up the cane and up the cane and up the cane and round in a circle. So what I'm going to do to it now is I'm going to chop it. I'm going to chop it hard. This will be its new apex, this particular branch here possibly, but for now I'm just going to come around the other side, and I'm going to chop it there. And remove all this top growth that has been powering on, and I'm hoping that I haven't left it too late, and that will induce some flower buds from these other shoots which I have been trimming. In fact, no, I'm going to take that back. And yeah, so hopefully these pieces in this pot will root and give me some fusion material, and this piece will give me the basis of a nice tree, like the next and final wisteria I'm going to show you right now. Here we have a Virginia creeper, which hasn't put on the growth I'd hoped. It's kind of sulked this year. Had one sort of long new branch there, and I had a few at the base of the trunk which I've removed to try and encourage it to do some more, but it's already starting to colour up for autumn, so I'm not thinking it's going to do a whole heap more, but again it's a vine, and I think it's going to make an interesting bonsai one day. Or it'll prove me wrong, one or t'other. And finally we'll finish up with this, which is a Japanese wisteria. Again, a very pretty tree. It flowered really well for me in spring, and then gave me a second flower, just the one flower, in the end of July, or end of June, early July, which was rather nice. And it has kept on growing well. I'm not sure about future development. There's a piece here that I'm thinking has to go. I'm leaving it for now because I think it will give me flower next year, and then it can come off. But that piece definitely needs to come off because it's going in the wrong direction. And there's a danger here of a little bit of reverse taper if I'm not careful, but again, that can be fixed, hopefully, at a later date. So thank you all for watching, I do appreciate it. Do the usual YouTube things, the liking and subscribing and commenting. Let me know what you think about using vines as bonsai. But most of all, please look after yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.